Would you please join me? We shouldn't have to hold it. All right. Would you please join me in the flag salute? All right, let's try this again. Maybe I can do it without holding it down. All right, let's try it again. Okay, all of the state and city council is present tonight, and we're joined by our friends from Sublimity with the mayor and Councilor Morrison Tass. Here, join us. So we have I just wanted to make sure to point that out. Are there any addition to the agenda? No? Any declaration of ex-party contact, conflict of interest, bias, etc.? Don't hear any. Opportunity for public comment. Have we received any requests for public comment? Okay, no thanks. All right, that leaves us to consent agenda from December 1st, City Council regular session minutes. Resolution number 25039, accepting the abstract of election results from the November 4th, 2025 special district election. And resolution number 25040, reappointment, new appointment of members to various boards and commissions. What would the council like to do? Councilor Patty.
Yes, sir. I would like to move that we accept the consent agenda as presented.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to accept the consent agenda as submitted. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries 5-0. And that moves us on to presentations. And we have a great presentation tonight. So Julia, do you want to take this one or start us off?
Yes, thank you. I'm feeling an echo. Okay, maybe it's just me. This is my first evening with the microphones and I don't like it. Just saying. Okay. So this evening we have the Stayton High School boys soccer recognition. As you all know, they took state, and that's very exciting. Because Stayton High School includes both Stayton and Sublimity, we invited Sublimity, and they actually helped us with some little baskets for the team. So what we're going to do is I'm going to read the names of people that we know are here. If anybody's come in after you talk to Melanie, let us know and we'll pull the certificate. We do have certificates for everybody and we've got baskets for everybody, but we're going to read the names of the people that we know are here. What we'd recommend is actually Mayor Quigley and Mayor Taylor to come in front of the podium so that I will hand Mayor Quigley the certificate. And then unless you guys all want to come in front and shake hands, we'll give Mayor Quigley the certificate. We can do handshakes and a photo with the mayors, and then the team can pick up their basket and then stand over there until we've gone through all the names so that we can do a photo. Make sense? Okay.
Okay, but before we do this, can the coach tell me what the record of the team was, please? Wow. That's amazing. Congratulations, y'all. That was fantastic. What a season. Hey, Julia.
Okay. If you guys would like to come up front. And then I will also read any additional awards, which there are a lot of additional awards for the team, many people on the team. It's really quite incredible. The first person is Ty Williams, and he is also all league honorable mention. We have how do we want to do whatever you guys want to do? Okay, Yale Villazana Gonzalez. And Yale is second team all league. And did I say your name right? We've got Ruben Bell, all league honorable mention. And then we've got Jose Navarro, who's also first team all league. Isaiah Dixon, who's the captain, as well as first team all league and player of the year. Edwin Perez. Oh. Edwin Perez. Zachary Flett. Javen Aceves. Noah Clampy. Oh, go ahead. Sorry. Noah Clampy. Omar Villazana Gonzalez. Miguel Cabellos, second team all league. And I'm going to go ahead and read the names of the other team members who aren't here, and then we'll read the coach's name. Logan Butenschen, Cesar Perez, Nick Paleo, Johnny Garcia, Josiah Decio, Caleb Larson, Alejandro Curiel, Juan Cisneros, Logan Bratton, Anthony Renteria, and Brian Navarro are also on the team. Congratulations. And this amazing team was coached by head coach Chris Shields, who is also here, and we have a certificate for coach. Oh, coach of the year. And then he was also joined with his assistant coaches, Ivan Paleo, Nolan Kramer, and David Holcomb. So team members, there's a basket for each of you. And Melanie, maybe you can talk a little bit about what's in them. If you would, just treats. Yeah, I think, and, and then before they all leave, I don't know if you guys wanted to say anything more or if we said that already or.
Go ahead, Mayor.
Is this working? There we go. I just want to congratulate the team. I know a few of you. Some of you have known since you were annoying little first graders, and I've seen you grow up to be great young men. Well, Noah's still just as annoying as he was when he was a first grader. But I have the pleasure of knowing you, knowing your families, and seeing you grow into the fine young men, including Noah. And really, a lesson I want you to take from this is that you've had a great season. You've worked really hard. You're undefeated. You're champions. Um, you can achieve that kind of success in life after high school. You won't go undefeated. I guarantee you that. But if you work just as hard as you did when you were going after this championship, you can succeed. So just, down the road, when things get tough, think about this championship, think about what it took, the sacrifices you had to make, the work that you had to put in to get where you're at right now. And that's going to take you really far in life. So I just want to congratulate y'all, and I'm proud of you. Thanks.
Anybody else on council? Okay. Well, again, y'all, good job. And what Mayor Taylor said, I can only echo. So great work. Thanks for coming out and thanks for representing Stayton like y'all did. Great job. You guys don't have to stay. You're good.
Take cookies.
I'll sit here waiting. Having said that, the next item I'm going to pull up the agenda tonight, and that is the public hearing. We were going to move that to a future date.
Yes, I was going to have Jennifer just come up and explain a little bit as to why, and yeah, explain what the next steps are or what our request is.
Sounds good. Jennifer, thanks.
Is this on? Oh, good. I'm Jennifer Siciliano, the Economic and Development Director here in Stayton. I just have a little blurb to read you. Before this evening is an ordinance to annex the 21-acre property located on Golf Lane in the city of Stayton and to change the zoning designation from Marion County Urban Transition to City of Stayton Low Density Residential. I'd like to briefly explain a procedural matter that arose very recently. Earlier today, the city received an updated guidance from DLCD regarding prudential need for a post-acknowledgement plan amendment, commonly referred to as a PAPA, in connection with annexations. Generally, PAPAs are required when there's a change in zone that is different from the comprehensive plan. DLCD indicated that based on the current interpretation and application of case law, that even though the proposed zoning is consistent with the state's comprehensive plan, because it is assigning a zone and therefore a zone change, they prefer the city provide them with a 30-day notice for the state for all annexations. In my discussion with DLCD today, they acknowledge that relevant ORS is subject to interpretation and that practices have varied in different municipalities. However, they notice that case law has supported the position that PAPAs may be required when an annexation includes a zoning action, which it always does. Historically, the city of Stayton has not completed a PAPA for annexations unless there was an amendment to the comprehensive plan and that the city has been having an ongoing consistent practice of not doing that. So given DLCD's updated guidance, and out of an abundance of caution, staff is recommending that the city council remand the ordinance back to the planning commission. This would allow the planning commission to rehear the application while providing a 35-day notice to the state, consistent with DLCD's direction. We have actually shared the information with the applicant, and they are supportive of this direction. Staff will continue to work closely with DLCD, the Planning Commission, and the applicant to move it forward efficiently and return the ordinance to the council once the notice and hearing requirements have been satisfied. I'm happy to answer any questions.
Counselor, any questions? Go ahead, Counselor Sims.
So, the planning commission recommended medium density. I know that the applicant put in low density. Does it matter which are the?
Yeah, the opposite.
Sorry. But does it matter which, when you do that 35-day notice, would you put it in as medium density or low density or?
I think we would put it in as medium density as the applicant requested, and we'd have to rehear it at Planning Commission. I have to say that I got a call, it was like 11:55 today from DLCD, and they said that it would need to go to Planning Commission again. And that they would need the 35 days to the Planning Commission meeting, and then it would need to go to City Council.
And then the city council, we could discuss medium or low density at that point.
Yes.
Okay.
Mr. Mayor,
Counselor Ort.
and can you clarify, I'm just unclear as to what the state needs 35 days to do.
They will likely comment. It gives them opportunity to comment on the zone change. That's
What is the acronym that you're talking about?
which one?
The
DLCD. It is the Department of Land Conservation and Development. It's basically like the state planning
Okay.
agency.
And then one more follow-up to that. So you're saying anytime we change, so anything that is in the urban transitional, anytime we change something, which basically is anytime we annex into the city because we have to change the zoning, you're saying that we are required to do this and we haven't been?
I would
Yeah.
argue, it's current interpretation. I was a planner for almost 30 years and I've never done one for an annexation before. So it was a surprise. And even the applicant is also a planner that's been out in doing planning things. And it was a little bit of a surprise for her too. So it sounds like it's a new interpretation of the rule.
And they put it in writing after they spoke to me to make sure, that they wanted their comments in writing. But yeah, I did speak with her about it because if you have a change in the comprehensive plan or you have a change in zoning, I actually did this when we were talking about changing the interchange development zone and allowing a different use. I did inform the state about that and did a PAPA. But when you do an annexation, you're always assigning it. That's how I perceived it, assigning it a zoning designation because it has to have some zoning designation. And they said to me on the phone, they consider that a zone change.
And I would say going forward, it's not that hard to do that notice. You do notice for the newspaper and property owners anyways. It's just we didn't know that we needed to do it. So that's why it's needing to go back through the process. Going forward, any annexation Jennifer will
We'll do
just
it.
go through this process and do the DLCD notice. And usually, I mean, sometimes they'll have comments. They don't always have comments, but it's just a procedural thing.
So, like when we ask the water board or Marion County for their comments, it'll be the state asking for their comments.
Thank you.
Anybody else? Okay, so what you need, I think is what you heard, Jennifer, is that you need to have the council offer a motion to remand the ordinance back to the planning commission.
Yes.
Okay.
Mr. Mayor, make a motion to remand the ordinance number 25-006 back to the planning commission.
Second.
Okay, motion and a second to remand ordinance number 25-006 back to the planning commission. Any further discussion?
Mr. Mayor,
Councilor Ort?
are we, I know that we are sending this back, but are we able to have any discussion about it or do we have to wait?
I would recommend waiting.
Fair enough, thank you.
Any other questions? Okay, I think Melanie, can you pull the council on this one since it's a land use issue?
Counselor Hayes,
Yay.
Counselor Ort,
Yes.
Counselor Patty,
Yes.
Counselor Carey,
Yes.
Counselor Sims.
Yes.
Motion carries 5-0.
Thanks, Jennifer.
Thank you.
That leaves us the general business. Any general business? Communication from city staff, Julia?
I have a few things. First, in light of the technical difficulties that we're having this evening, I would just like Alyssa to, or Melanie to discuss what we've done so far and what we will be doing after this evening, because I don't think I could do another meeting with this echo.
So, yes, we've been working with Key Code Media. They were down last Friday. They thought they would only be here for half the day, or 2 or 3 hours, and we're here till just a little bit after 5 o'clock. So yes, we are working with them, and I know that you had one person who programmed the system and they sent someone else down to try to fix some of the issues that we were having. And so trying to figure out how a different programmer was working versus how his mind works, it seemed like there were some issues. I don't know if you have anything else, but we've recorded it on Zoom tonight. It is live broadcasting right now. It just appears that there is not the video. They're seeing this up here, but there is sound. I went and listened to it. So, but we do have video here that we can upload later so that we have an official picture. And go ahead.
The microphone issue is something with the manufacturer from the microphone that the person who did the install is working with their team to figure out why Ken's was not working. We know why yours is not working, but we didn't want to change it mid-meeting and confuse the whole process. So that is perfectly fine. We know how that works. We're going to cover that board over there, and they're working on the camera tracking system with the manufacturer as well. But he recovered a lot of the errors in setting things up with the handheld microphone and the lapel microphone weren't routed to actually come through the speaker. So we got a lot of those issues resolved on Friday that we weren't expecting to have to work on.
And thank us all for our patience, I guess, right? So I've got a few more things. I wanted to mention this morning we had a holiday staff appreciation year-end holiday breakfast. And one of the things that we introduced was Stars of Appreciation, and it's really intended for staff to recognize staff in other departments. So not within your own department, but in other departments to basically write something nice about why they appreciate them. And I was thinking it would be lovely if you wanted to make those available to you too. I, of course, forgot to bring some, but if there's some that you would like, we will have them available at the front counter if you guys wanted to come by and pick up some stars. Howard will be accepting them all by right, Thursday. And then putting them together in a constellation and taking a picture of it and then sharing those stars with those staff. So at the very least, even if you aren't able to get us stars, we'll share those with you so you can see what other people think about the staff. I want to just remind you all, I think you know that we've got the Detroit Dam Drawdown open house tomorrow. And then on Wednesday, there's a stakeholder meeting for the park and pool. The intent of that is really just to share information with people who we know are using the pool, you know, like swim team folks, Parks Board, running clubs, that kind of stuff that we know are using the parks and the pool to get input from them on a potential levy. I would say anybody in the community really is a stakeholder, so anybody is welcome to attend, but we specifically invited people that we could identify. So don't, you know, if you're talking with anybody, they're welcome to attend. So that's on Wednesday from 5:30 to 7:30 here. And then I wanted to ask Barry to come up. I know that if we don't call Barry up, the mayor will ask about it anyways. The tree removal in downtown for Barry, just to explain a little bit about the why and the timing and that project. I did warn him that I was gonna, he might not have remembered, but I told him.
Barry Buchanan, Interim Public Works Director. There has been several questions and comments concerning the removal of the trees outside the court and in, oh God, what's the other road? Florence Road, thank you. We are currently in the process of taking the trees out so that we can actually repair the footpaths or sidewalks. The sidewalk exercise is a thing that has been ongoing. We do have a register or a partial register. It's not completed as it stands right now, but we have a partial register in place to, in actual fact, renew sidewalks that are associated with the city. It was my call on attacking or working on the city's portion of the sideworks first before we go out and force the issue on people outside the city's domain. So anywhere that we're working right now is adjacent to city property, and it is associated with our responsibility to, in actual fact, restore the sidewalks back to good working condition. Along with that, we have looked at, this is an exercise that Jennifer and I have been working on, and Jennifer will be presenting to council, it's mid-January, I believe, concerning sidewalk repair, trees, right-of-ways, roadway repair, etc., etc. Unfortunately, every time we turn around, the exercise gets bigger because it encompasses more and more things. So as it is right now, the trees have been removed outside the court and out on Florence Road itself. There are 3 trees, I believe, on Florence Road and 3 outside the court itself. We will be moving to remove the footpaths when weather is convenient to do so that we can actually lay pavement back down. One of the things that's inside the tree and sidewalk discussion that we want to have with you is how we reinstall or reinstate. And our proposal as it stands right now, not that I'm asking for comment at this point, but I'm putting out here so that you understand what we're trying to do, is remove trees, roots, and encumbrances that are in actual fact impeding or damaging our footpaths or sidewalks on a regular basis. We will repair the sidewalks and then put planters back in. We do not intend to put in pavement trees in as replacement. We're going to put 3x3 planters, which are the same size as the boxes that currently exist for the trees to stand in. And then we'll put trees that will be appropriate for those planters, have those grow until they get to a 4-inch girth. We'll then take those trees out and put them in a arbory that we intend to start at the water treatment and the water treatment plant and within the parks, and reinstate trees so that we don't have oversized trees downtowns that are causing problems with the sidewalks or with the planters that we intend to use in the future. So that's where we stand right now. If there are any questions on that or any further understanding that needed, I'm more than happy to answer questions.
Councillor Patty.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. And thank you, Barry, for that explanation. I'm just curious, it seems just in your going through what we're going to do to remedy this situation, it seems very, like, I don't know, costly and time consuming. Is this the cheapest option, I guess, is my first question.
It's that's a really good question, David. Cheapest may not be the cheapest solution on a first up basis, but it is long term the cheapest way to move forward so that we're not repairing sidewalks on a continuous basis. As it stands right now, we put trees in and those trees' roots grow, expand, destroy the footpaths, and we're actually digging up our sidewalks to replace our sidewalks rather than just trees and planters. So the initial capital cost is slightly higher. I'll put that out there. But the long-term life cycle cost is in actual fact significantly less. You're right, Julia. This really is painful.
I'll probably have some additional questions when we get to that discussion next. What it said, January? When is it?
Mid-January, yes.
Okay. Yeah, I'll have some just additional questions then.
And I will say that I've asked Barry, based, with the feedback that we saw on social media, it's like is there a way that we can be a little bit more
Proactive.
communicative with both the council but also the community? I know it's on their plan, but it doesn't mean that the public knows about it or we know about it. And so I think we're talking about what we can do, maybe some signage or something like that. And I think this is it for the year. But as we go forward, if we're in a place where we're going to be taking trees down, having a little bit of notice before we're doing that, so the public isn't surprised by it and they know that it's associated with a sidewalk fix and that the trees will be replanted. Because I think what people are seeing on social media is the trees cut down and not realizing that they're going to be replaced after the sidewalks are replaced and that it's a plan.
Oh, I guess I'll just ask the question. So if we're planning on doing that for the downtown core in front of city-owned property, is that going to be a discussion for citywide as well?
Yes. Yes, it is. To be quite honest, this is a trial demonstration that we're trying to do to make sure that everybody's happy with what we're doing. We will be getting RDS involved to make sure that they're happy with what we're doing downtown as well. But from our discussions internally and talking to some of the general public, they agree that long term this may be the best solution.
In fact, I had a discussion with Mayor from Sublimity about that very situation. And they have actually in their ordinance a species of trees that's permitted within the city. So I thought that was interesting.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Mayor Taylor and I had that discussion a couple months ago.
Okay, cool. Well, perhaps we can pick up on some of that information as well, Brian.
Councilor Carey, go ahead.
Very hypothetically, I have a tree on my property. It's destroying the sidewalk. Am I responsible as a resident or will the city come in and take care of that?
As it stands right now, if it's on your property, it remains your responsibility. It is one of the points that we're going to bring up and discuss in more detail when we bring the whole thing back to you. No, I won't go first.
Mr. Mayor.
Council Ort.
I think one of the issues too with communicating with the public is that a lot of people don't understand that there's specific type of trees that you're supposed to plant, and that doesn't always happen because they're not always available. And I know from speaking with our previous city manager that some of the trees that were planted were not ones that were supposed to be planted there
What?
because they weren't because the trees that we needed were not available.
Well, in very recent times, again, something that we will bring to the table mid-January is that our tree list, we've gone through the original tree list that I think had something like 45 different trees on it. We've actually cut that list down to 5, and I'm reviewing it so that we will have no more than 10. And as I say, we'll be looking at trees that are more appropriate to put in planters rather than grow naturally deep roots into the ground. Okay, so yes, there is a tree problem in that the tree list was not originally followed directly, and also it was so extensive, quite honestly, it was difficult to understand what you were meant to buy and what you weren't meant to buy.
Thanks, Barry. Anybody else? Appreciate it. Julia?
That is all I have unless, okay, that is all I've got.
Opportunity for our city council and mayor communication. City council,
Mr. Mayor.
Council Ort.
Thank you. So I would like to recognize our city manager. In October, my kids' school had the middle school had a career day, and we had several people come in and talk about their careers and whatnot. And so I asked Julia if she would come in and talk about what it's like to be a city manager. I think it's one of those jobs that people don't necessarily think about until there's an emergency, probably, or until they need something. And so I just wanted to say thank you. The kids, I talked to several of them afterwards, and they had a little bit better of an understanding of what you do. Some of them were the comments that I got were, oh, they're always funny that you get back, but they're like, she was talking about the water, and I don't know exactly what she was saying, but she said they're going to make sure that the water is good. And I was like, okay, well, there's a problem, and we're going to make sure it's fixed. So thank you for going to talk to them. They really enjoyed it. So, and I have a thank you note from the kids.
Nice. Councilor Sims.
Barry, can you come back up here, please? I'm gonna put you on the spot. I think I got it on. The something I brought up last year, I think it was before your time, but Marion Street and North Third, that intersection with Covered Bridge and 505, a 4-way stop there. I really, really think we need to get a 4-way stop in there. I don't think we've done anything with that, but after standing at the 505 many times and watching that intersection, I really want to get a 4-way stop in there and soon. I think it's something that's necessary. Hopefully we maybe have some agreement with the rest of the council on that, but I really want to get that stop in there. I don't think we need to do a $200,000 survey of it or anything like that. I don't know what the requirements are, but.
So, Counselor Sims, yeah, you mentioned that to me, and I mentioned that you were likely going to bring that up to Barry, and I was going to say, Barry, I'm going to delegate that to you. I don't know if you've had a chance to really give that any looking with all the other things that you've had on your plate, but I know it's not as simple as just putting up a stop sign. Can you now or maybe at the next meeting say what is involved in evaluating whether or not a stop sign can be placed?
I haven't looked at it, have not looked at it in detail. But this is one of those silly things. You're actually talking to the wrong person, isn't she? Isn't he? But under the bylaws, this actually comes under the chief police's responsibility to make that decision. But seeing we have interchangeable titles, apparently, I can also make that decision. I will take on board to actually have a look at it in more detail, and we will bring back a recommendation.
Thank you. I'd appreciate that. Hopefully it's not too costly to put a four-way stop in. I got one more for you, so don't get up.
But before we go to the next one, I just want to say there are warrants. You can't just put a stop sign up if it's not warranted. So hopefully it won't be an extensive and expensive analysis, but we need to make sure that it's not going to create a situation that's going to be less safe. And in this instance, I don't know that that's the case, but if you were to just have a stop sign in the middle of a road that's going straight with no other indicators, it could create a safety hazard. So we need to make sure that it's appropriate. So that's what Barry will look at.
We'll get it evaluated and come back with a recommendation or a comment on why.
Yeah.
Mr. Mayor,
Councilor,
on that same vein, I feel like I feel like I'm deja vu moment, but with our downtown being busier than really it's ever been, is it possible to take a look at other streets too? I know like what is it, in front of Yugo's? Second and Ida. Like it is very confusing on who's supposed to stop and who isn't. And sometimes I stop and I'm like, oh, I don't have a stop sign, but I don't know. You just never know who's going to be going through the intersection inappropriately. So I always just use caution there, but I just feel like it's a little confusing, some of our intersections.
I think yes. And I thought you were going into the parking plan that we applied for I think it was DLCD as well. So we're still waiting on a response from them. And I had asked Jenna, is that where we're at? We're still, okay. So we're still waiting on a response on that parking study.
But that doesn't include the stop sign.
The reason why it doesn't necessarily, but it could potentially be expanded to kind of look at parking and traffic circulation in the downtown.
Gotcha.
Potentially.
Okay, and my last question for Barry. Do we do pothole filling in the wintertime, or is that a springtime thing?
We do pothole filling all year round, basically. But it is when it's appropriate to put material in the potholes. As it stands right now, there's just too much water in the potholes to actually fill them. We can't dewater the pothole and keep the material in the pothole once we put it in, is part of the problem. So it needs to be a little bit drier than it is this week to get potholes filled. But in general, yes, potholes are filled. Over the last several weeks, possibly 6 to 8 weeks, we have not worked on potholes because the guy that does our pothole maintenance is driving the truck to suck leaves off the road. So we don't have that person available over that short period to in actual fact do it. But I was talking to Jarek on Friday and he said he'll be back to the normal street maintenance work later this week.
Yeah, it's going to be really wet, but is there a way to report potholes? Do we have like a hotline or a link that we can do on our website? Because this has been brought up to me and I've had people confront me about pothole repair.
So we don't currently have an easy mechanism. It's actually something that we've discussed several times in the past, but we haven't implemented. But maybe this is a good push for us to get something out there.
Yeah, that'd probably be great to have something where we can log it, and that way we have a list when Jerry, right?
Jerry.
Goes out and fixes the potholes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would love a system where we can have people report them and then have a map interface type of thing. I mean, some of that is beyond our budget, but for a simple forms reporting, I know Melanie can accomplish that pretty easily.
That could be as simple as a spreadsheet. I mean, pretty easy.
That's all right.
I have a follow-up to that too. Um, do we have we know that there are problematic potholes that consistently come up. Do we have a list of those, or is it all just complaint driven on whether they get filled, or how does that work?
Okay. In general, I will put out there straight up, it is firefighting. When Jerick is driving around or any of the operations guys are driving around, they record them, get it to Jerick. Jerick goes out and makes the repair. When he's doing leaf pickup, or I'm sorry, when he does leaf pickup, he is also monitoring the street as he's driving around, and he's doing close to 60 miles a week in the leaf time, and he records those and then attacks them when he can. But yes, I will put out there, admittedly, it is more firefighting than it is proactive.
I feel like some of the streets that have the potholes are not the streets that the street sweepers sweep.
That would be
though.
true.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. And those ones are actually picked up by our general crews going around, just traveling around town, looking at things. If they're not reported, then quite honestly, they do get missed. And there are a lot of potholes out there that, in actual fact, don't get fixed on the lesser roads. You know, we are more looking at roads with blacktop on them and trying to keep those maintainable and keep them operational.
Hey, Barry, don't believe yet. I wonder if I know we had discussions about the parking on 10th and Jefferson. Do we have a resolution with that?
Julie, you? Well, 10th and Jefferson is in actual fact a county issue. And the county is saying that they don't have intentions to do anything as it stands immediately.
So the no parking signs were put up by the county?
Sorry,
The no parking signs on
the existing
curb?
no parking sign is a county sign, yes.
So who enforces that? RPD?
I don't know the answer to that. Is that it?
Yeah, our officers would enforce no parking as time allows on where there's parking within that.
The issue? Oh, sorry.
I think I know that there is one sign that is
Yeah.
missing, so I don't know if.
Is there a sign that's missing?
There
now?
was a sign that was missing. I think then there was also the conversation about expanding that, and I think it sounds like you heard that they're not going to expand the
Well,
no parking area, but hopefully they'll at least replace the one that.
Okay, well, I will chase up on the sign if there's a sign missing. I did not realize that, and I didn't talk to the county about that. But I did talk to them about the street itself and the potential of extending the no parking area, and it's in review. Let's put it that way from the county.
I thought, Julia, that we looked at the transportation plan, and in that transportation plan, there's not supposed to be parking along East Santiam. Is that right?
That's what the TSP says. That's not necessarily what the county has to. We can push for that. They might say, we want money, I mean, that's something that we could potentially push for. I think that there's maybe 3 issues that we're talking about: the missing no parking sign, the no parking at 10th and Jefferson and kind of expanding that, and then the no parking consistent with the TSP all the way from 10th to 1st. And I think I would imagine that if we really want to push it and the county, could be talking out of school here, but if we want to push it and we want to pay for it, the county would likely allow us to do the 10th to 1st. I think what we asked them about was expanding the
Piece around the corner.
the no parking within that 10th and Jefferson area.
Yeah. The county was quite clear on that. They're prepared to put marking in, given the time constraints of when they're going to do maintenance on the road. And quite honestly, right now, it's escaping my mind, but there was discussion about when that road was likely to be maintained or have an overlay put on it. They didn't want to go out and stripe it and put no parking indicators on the road when they were going to within. I'm not going to make a number because I can't remember what the number was they said.
So let's put we'll have a more formal response by the next meeting. How about that?
That's fine. That's what I was looking for. Anybody else, council? Thanks, Barry. Appreciate you being in the hot seat.
Mr. Mayor,
Councilor Carey.
mine's more of an announcement. I just want to highlight the 505 Men's Collective is having a 2-year party Friday and Saturday. Friday is 4 to 7 and Saturday is 10 to 7.
Okay, thank you. And I think I'll be trying to make an appearance there, so that'd be great. I got a couple of things, Julia. I sent a note to staff, but I want to publicly acknowledge the work and effort that staff did to the Christmas tree lighting. I think you all saw my response, but Melanie and Howard, I know that you were instrumental in carrying that all out. And I would tell you that the community had a great time. Myself, Council Ort, Councilor Hayes, Councilor Sims was all in attendance, and everything went smashingly with the exception of lighting the tree. I mean, that was probably operator error because I called Howard up there. I'm like, Howard, help. And next thing I know, the tree was lit. So well done, everybody, on that one. That was really awesome to see. Having the kids have the opportunity to come in here and do crafts and be captured by the storyteller and just everything that y'all did for that. So I really appreciate that. It's really giving of self when you put that much effort into it for the benefit of the community. So thank you.
Mr. Mayor,
Council Ort.
can I piggyback on that? I love that we use the community center because it was a perfect like segue in here, and it was warmer and out of the weather, so it's fantastic. And I mean, it was full of people, and so it's really nice to see people here other than just at council meetings. So thank you.
Yeah, just for FYI, I'm going to be absent this second meeting in January, and I asked Councilor Sims to run the meeting as well as to attend Doris's Place new open house, and so Councilor Sims will be doing that for me. And I think that's all I have. One last chance for the good of the order, anybody? There's something that I'm missing, but it'll come to me. All right, with that, we're adjourned.